This is the HX Collective Self Channel, where we explore the relationship we have with ourselves. In today's conversation with my guest, Libby Baney, she reflects on the journey of self discovery and the impact of this journey on her human experience. The HX Collective explores the human experience through three main channels of life: work, relationships, and self. With raw, authentic conversations, the podcast investigates how challenges can become powerful teachers, leading to personal growth and deeper connections. Rooted in humanity-centered design, each episode reflects a commitment to doing good and doing well, featuring diverse voices and generational perspectives. Expect gripping stories of struggle and success, with thought-provoking discussions and concrete tools and tactics that encourage you to rethink your relationship with distress, helping you to establish your full human experience. This is the HX Collective channel. All right, so Libby, we've had so many terrific insights around thinking about human flourishing at work, thinking about human flourishing in the context of relationships outside of work. The last conversation I'm really excited to gain your perspective on is how human flourishing is such a critical and such a priority when it comes to your relationship with yourself and as you care for yourself. And so again, thinking context and also just thinking about the things that you know to be true about human flourishing and self-care. Why is this an important, poignant moment to be thinking about this?
Honey, February 2025. I think, what's the phrase? You have to put your own oxygen mask on first. It feels totally selfish to say it out loud. But then you realize, no, that's really actually just science, right?
Like oxygen in brain. Yeah.
Okay. Like sometimes people say that and I think it feels a little bit like that's a defense, like get away from me. It's kind of a push, like I need some space to protect myself. But I'm very intentional about taking time. I just know, and my team knows, and my family knows. I'm not a happy person. I cannot be nice if I don't work out. I just can't. The nice factors directly correlate with the fact that I have to have movement in my day. I will do yoga, I will do Peloton, I'll do running, I will do stretching, I'll do anything. But if I'm going to sit in a room for 12 hours, if you take away my 1 hour of peace, which happens to be in motion, it could be in writing, it could be in solitude. Everybody has they have a system for that. But for me, my life hack is I got to move. And that is a stress management function. It is a self-care function. It says to myself, if I can lift a heavy weight, I can get through this day. If I can get through the cycling class, I can get through this day. It builds confidence. And, we have had these conversations. What are some of the core features of flourishing? But being in community with other people, learning from them, and having the confidence to go into those environments based on their other relationships you have in your life. It all comes down to, can I have an hour a day to do something that is reminding me of those other really important pillars, but in a way that is truly fulfilling and restorative for me. And restorative for me is in motion.
Self-care, sometimes we think of that as isolation or being alone, but part of the self-care I know you do with working out is that you are one of the, I would say, devotees of the walking meeting.
Oh man, yeah.
And I, again, these things can come off to being so trite, but when I see human flourishing can happen, particularly as a busy professional and a busy parent, when you can get two benefits out of a single action. Talk to us a little bit. Talk to us a little bit about, it is not uncommon for you to take a work meeting while walking. It's not uncommon for you to, have a business planning call while you are, on a treadmill or working, whatever. So talk to us a little bit about, if somebody who isn't thinking about doing that, I would suspect that we kind of get caught up in the risk of well, you can't have a professional meeting and have your yoga pants on while walking.
Turns out you can't. Why? I had to message you and say, do I have to wear real clothes to this meeting? Because otherwise I was pacing around. Well, I feel like I am more focused when I'm in motion because I don't have I'm not looking at my screens, nothing's buzzing. There's not all this incoming. It's it's just me and you. So while you may hear some traffic, I live in Alexandria, Virginia, like rocking along the Potomac. My clients, my friends, certainly my family know, like, I'm getting the best of Libby's brain because it is entirely all she's got right now. Like, there's not other inputs. And I feel much more creative and alive. I mean, like, I don't take this as because Steve Jobs did it, but he's famed for these walking meetings of like, we got to have a real creative conversation. Let's get outside and just pace around. For me, that is such a gift. This afternoon, as an example, I got a Peloton desk for Christmas. Thank you, my sister. And I have to do some admin work that I could otherwise do sitting right here. And I'm saving it for the end of the day. And I'm looking forward. I mean, that's silly, but I'm looking forward to like all this law firm admin stuff that I get to do while typing on the Peloton. And I won't be, it's not going to be a full cardio workout, but it's just the idea of maximizing time with intentional movement to create more brain synapses. And it's super fun. And sometimes if I'm walking, I carry a power pack in one pocket because I run out of power. You carry water. I have a little backpack that has a water backpack and an extra battery pack, a charger, 2 protein bars. You never know where I'm going to end up if I'm on a walk. But that is, to me, the best possible day is in motion, talking about how to solve problems together.
Well, I know in building on that too, one of the other observations I have in self-care when you are in motion, the willingness to do things audio only.
Oh.
And I think the phone call and the audio only really should be making a comeback. So I'm going to let that be like,
me too.
People, let's bring back the phone call. While I love being on screen, don't get me wrong. I do think, when we couldn't be face to face with people, being intentional with your virtual meeting, camera on, being visible, there is certainly a relationship connection. But I heard somebody say the other day that we should, if we're going to do things face to face, we should actually go be with the person. So make the effort to go do an actual face to face. So instead of relying on the convenience of, I don't want to drive in the city, I don't want to whatever, that actually really reprioritize the physical face to face. And then when you're not face to face, let's bring back the phone call so that we can incorporate movement. Give me your reactions to that. Because I hadn't really contemplated that, because I do a lot of things are virtual based on geography, but at the same time, I thought, well, when possible, why not? So what would you say about the phone call on the audio only in particular?
A layer to that I've experienced is people are more vulnerable sometimes in audio only. You can get people to share more because this eye contact, I mean, this is another Steve Jobs hack. He's like walking side by side versus looking at each other. You know this from meetings. I mean, look how the Oval Office is situated. It's not like across the desk and we're going to have an intimate conversation eye to eye, right? It's like you're sitting kind of sideways together and you have options to not be awkwardly staring at each other. And so the audio only, whether it's for therapy reasons or for client reasons or for family reasons, gives you space to not feel so vulnerable. And that allows a new type of intimacy. And so people will say things in audio only that they may never have said if I was looking at them face to face. And that's true across all types of relationships. And so sometimes even in my own marriage, like the hardest conversation, I'm like, I'm going to call you. Because like us just looking at each other is going to be a little bit aggressive. And it's like, I'm waiting for your answer. Are you going to answer me? I'm judging you. You're reading my body cues. Like, no, I just want to hear. So I add that as a layer of the value of audio only for the right conversation at the right time. And I love your point about in person, like that gets back to the one-on-one. When I'm week on, week off with my son for custody, and a week off, like where I don't have him in my physical presence, I am out. Like I am in the office, I'm in New York, I'm in Boston, I'm in Chicago, I'm in California. Like I'm with my clients or with my people or with my friends or with my family, because like that's my time to spend that. Even if it's an hour just of his coffee, I'd rather go to New York to be with my client for coffee in person. I can work on the way. It's so much better.
So in that spirit of human flourishing and self-care, a big part of your self-care, you do draw energy in relationships. When you think about self-care and the quiet, and when you think about, in that period of the doing nothing and just being with your thoughts or being reflective, is there anything, because as an extroverted person, I relate wholeheartedly to what you're saying, but I'm like, but then when you have to like be alone, and I've personally been really focusing not because I feel like it, but because I think it is a discipline for self-care that will lead to my flourishing and will allow me to help others flourish, is in the quiet and in the
Uh-huh.
non-distracted. Anything, can you
Oh
offer any
gosh.
perspective about that? Just
It's
you probably do it while you're on a bicycle, would be
I
my
don't
guess.
well,
But
I do, but that's not the same thing. And I mean, I'm surrounded by a system of introverts. My son, my Polish partner, my now husband are much more introverted and introspective in quiet. Like they demand quiet in a way that makes me super uncomfortable sometimes because I'm like, are you everybody okay? Like it's too quiet in here. And they're like, no, I'm restoring myself in quiet. And so people will say to me, go get your wiggles out. Like that's your way to restore. And I'll say to my son, like, go be quiet for a while.
yeah,
And he'll say to me, don't you think you should do that too? And I'm like, oh, that's a nice, well, maybe you're right. And so I've tried, to your point, really spent time saying, okay, is that something that I need, or is that just other people's way? And often I will do that in a walk or some version because that's my walking meditation. But having those moments of reflection, or even in writing, I mean, I can write for 12 hours straight in to stone silence, like as a journal, and just shut my eyes and go for it. Because I process in words as obvious. That's obvious from this conversation.
I,
And other
I,
people don't.
I
So,
love that. Well, I would say one of the most important takeaways I'm reminding myself and being with you is, first of all, know thyself, and that the ability to attune in ways that give you the best possible outcomes, to your point, so that you can bring your full self, is such a critical piece. And I loved what you said earlier. We were talking about this idea of taking care of our brains, because
yeah.
if we're not, particularly, I don't know that there'd be anybody listening who could say, oh yeah, my brain's kind of non-essential in work.
Right.
I mean, it's particularly essential when you are billing your time and your brain is what they're buying. But
Yeah.
that idea of even self-care is just, if you can recognize and really pay attention to what is necessary, what
Yeah.
is prioritized to take care of your brain and your spirit, I think is such an important takeaway.
Thank you for using that word priority.
Because it is, right?
It is. It
Ultimately.
is. It is.
All right. Great. All right. So, Libby, you are an ally in the HX Collective. And when we formed, we all came together. We are all united by a common mission of wanting to create really a platform through a variety of media to ensure that we are giving wisdom and ideas and perspectives to elevate the human experience. I mean, that's our whole reason for
Love it.
existing, is to draw upon all that creativity so that we can be a force for good, and we can be a force multiplier by being in a collective or in a community. So as we wrap our conversation today and thinking about, why this experience of like lifting the human experience and elevating human flourishing is a priority, any parting wisdom or advice for somebody who's like maybe not put this on their radar, maybe it's not making their to-do list of, I think I should prioritize elevating the human experience today? Any closing advice or encouragement that you can offer to why this would be valuable for people to maybe reprioritize and kind of draw in?
You said it really well. And it makes you better and makes you a better partner, person, and hopefully, person in the world, to do that, and to set aside our self-doubt or maybe our self-confidence that says I'm not worth it, like that's selfish, and to say this is a gift to others. First, I have to take care of myself, and then I can be much better to others. And if that's not true, I want people to tell me that, because to me, it's very important to take care of our people and ourselves in that process. And it just frankly makes me much happier to be part of this community and part of the world. So I hope others can prioritize themselves and their flourishing so we can be better together.
Thanks for being here. If today's conversation sparked something in you, we hope you'll carry it forward with curiosity, compassion, and courage. Subscribe to the show, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who needs it. Until next time, keep exploring what it means to be fully human.